Welcome to Invest, talk about investing, finance, and professional development. For today's times only, the investment talk today would be Ethereum ticker ETH. So it's my second posting as of today. With respect to recording time of 1:35 p.m. on Eastern time, Ethereum currently trading $2,901, down about 3.22% so far. With respect to the overall crypto market, it seems like the sell-off is still enduring, despite the equity market subsequently rebounded across the board. And with respect to just a reminder on the sell-off that we incurred yesterday on the equity side, but also with respect to the crypto side, the factors or the reasons for the sell-off is, again, just a reminder. I'm not going to go through each one specifically, but I'm going to go through them just on a high level. One is the Christine Lagarde affectations around her negative depictions on crypto assets causing suspicious warning, right? Number two is the investors' fear of contagion sweeping financial markets from the troubled China property news with respect to China, Evergrande Group on the brink of default, right? Third one, with respect to the Feds, they are, hosting a FOMC meeting today and tomorrow. And with respect to the transcript, on the depictions around the inflationary pressure, the tapering plan, or crypto assets regulatory pressure going forward, on how that's going to be triangulated with the job numbers as well, that's something we still don't know. We are still pending on the status on the outcome. On the fourth one would be the COVID variants news. It still seems like it's still regionally spiking, despite the cooler weather across the domestic region of the US. And also with respect to September is a historical negative month because of the the reversal of the sector rotations across the spectrum of the financial market, and subsequently on average 0.4% decline according to Stock Almanac. And lastly, with respect to the brinkmanship in DC, as the deadline to raise the debt ceiling approaches, also have been an affectation on driving the sell-off. Right? So with respect to Ethereum, we are still enduring the sell-off, down about close to 4% so far. It seems like we are forming a relatively negative pattern. This is called a head and shoulder. You could see that. You could prominently see the head and then the shoulder. And this is something that we have been talking about for quite some time now. This is expected, and there's no need to panic, nor feel some sort of way that you're going to be losing your money. This is just the market cycle going through its course of occurrence, right? In respect to the sell-off that we saw after 12 p.m., I think 12:30 p.m. On the Eastern time, there's been just a lot of negative news that's been percolating on the media front, right? Just talking about with respect to Cointelegraph 3 hours ago talk about with respect to the pattern that we're forming right now, the head and shoulder chart pattern, put Ethereum price at the risk of dropping to $2,000, right? And again, my price target to buy would be the 2,450 as a next level to dollar cost average at, right? But if we break all the way down to the level below 2,450, technically it would be the 2,252. And technically the 2,150. But if we break that, the next level is really the $1,900 per the technical analysis in the bar charts that we see in front of us. So another one is with respect to the rebound that we saw earlier today, but seems like the rebound again, right, is not sustainable because it's mainly coming from public investors. With the fear of Evergrande's credit contagion risk fades, but despite it fading, the Fed is still going to be progressing on the FOMC meeting. We're still going to be hearing more about the regulatory constrictions or compliance infrastructure on crypto assets going forward. So something we don't know, right? Another news talk about with respect to Bitcoin as 4 hours ago, talk about creator Vitalik Buterin, which is the founder of Ethereum, to be immortalized in NFT collection. So another commercialization news around the NFT adoptions that we've seen globally. And then another one, this is more of a repeating news that we saw earlier today already with respect to NFT fantasy soccer game. Sorel, I think that's how you pronounce it, raises $680 million. So another news talking about the commercialization on NFT adoptions. So it seems that the sell-off is still enduring, which makes sense because we haven't heard anything from the Feds. But despite the negative news, or the foreshadow from the investment sentiments, we also have the negative news coming from the media side that's driving some, fear mongering among investors as well, right? So the sell-off is logical. It makes sense. We did break through the level of resistance. So the next level ideally would be the 2,750 because we are hovering in air right now. We don't have anything to support the current level right now. So I think the sell-off will be, continuing down to the 2,750, and I think that's a good level. I'm gonna start buying it. But again, right, with respect to that level, if we keep going down, that will be the 2,450, right? The 2,600 is not really a substantive level. It was just more of a, we touched on it for like a, brief moment. But in regards to like the substantive level, if you take a look at the historicals, I'm not going to go too far away. 2,700, 2,450 would be more ideal to buy at. With respect to the technical MACD and RSI is at 35.52 right now. So if you buy now, which is, again, we are relatively close, 2,750, is not a bad idea to do so, right? Again, I've been talking about these numbers for a month now. So this is something that we are expecting. So with my cash reserve, I am very happy to start buying again to build up my position from there. So Dogecoin, we are extremely oversold right now, 30.41 out of 70. Again, the 20 cents is a good level. So Dogecoin is not a bad dip at the moment right now. But just know that if we break the 20 cents, the next level is the 16 cent, which is a relatively large drop from there, but still a relatively, good in terms of risk versus reward ratio perspective. With respect to Cardano, we are at the 35.21, so comparable to Ethereum. Again, we're forming a comparable head and shoulder pattern, right? And I think the next level, ideally, if we are going to be aligning with Ethereum, is going to be dragging the market. It will be the $1.87 and $1.45 as the next level. So think of $1.87 as like the 2,750, the $1.45 as like the 2,450. But just know that the gap is relatively larger, because of the fact that we do have a large gap that needs to be filled. So something to be watching out for. So with respect to Solana, we are still selling off, which is expected. This is not a surprise. We know that we're going to keep going down to the 112, right? Because on the scale, we're still 47.07 out of 70. We're not anywhere near 35 yet. There's no signs of reversal on the MACD either. So Solana is going to still keep selling off. We're down about 10% so far. XRP, we are retesting the 88 cents, which is very close. We did earlier today, we did break below it to 85 cents and subsequently got reversed back up. The reason is because the 88 is more of a substantive level, and that's why we reversed back up. So is it a good time to buy now? I think it is. XRP is not a bad level to buy because we are drilling oil slowly. We're at the 35.05. We're not at the 30 yet, but once it hit the 30, it will be extremely oversold and will basically reverse extremely sharply. So I think there's a lot of overreactions across the crypto market, and I think the whales love these levels, love these type of zones that we're buying at, because again, they have a list of, a collections of researchers that they appoint and employ to know the levels to dollar cost average at, right? And this is why I come in. I've worked at those institutions before, and I know technical analysis well enough to know their actions going forward, right, in a foreshadow perspective. So we are not sitting around waiting, for the ship to sail, basically, right? So long-term investing, I think, we should just stay within that frame of mindset. We know that we are in the panic and capitulation stage. I think anger is coming up, which is something we have to be mindful of. That anger could potentially be like hitting to the 2,000 level, really, for Ethereum, right? And I think once we get there, RSI and MACD will be very depleted, which, will subsequently drive a reversal, right? And then you will see more depression because of the, you just need to drag out, right? Because of you need to cool down with respect to the sell-off just to renormalize and allow the equity side to go up from there, which technically makes sense. And then we should endure some, buying pressure from the whales, which subsequently restart the whole market cycle again. 3,000, 2,750, 2,450 would be the level of dollar cost average. I think we are at the 2,750 very closely. So start incurring some buying wouldn't be a bad idea. But again, 2,450 is still the steal level, and I think technically that should be the bottom, right? Per multiple media affectation, right? But if you bought in way higher, let's say you bought in at the 3,900 for some reason, and you just learn about this channel recently, 9,800 in the next 12 months is going to be, in realization shortly. I know shortly, 12 months from now, right? But time really flies. So you just got to be patient about it and stay within the long-term vision, if you may, right? And that's 3.3 times your money from here if you bought at the current level right now, right? So hopefully this is helpful. It's my second update today. It's a relatively quick one, but hopefully you guys are staying within the frame of reference that we've been talking about. Stay within logical methodology. Do not buy based on emotions. But I think logically it is a good place to be buying at right now based on the numbers. I think the chart checks out. So, start incurring risks, but just know that more sell-off might be coming because of the, the FOMC meeting on the outcome of it subsequently, right? And we might see just more, sideways negative pressure going forward because of the market cycle as well. So really appreciate you, and again, thank you for the kind words. I always appreciate reading the comments section, and stay tuned for it coming up. Take care.